It begins with chaos, heartbreak, and a mother's terror. Sharon Newman is on the verge of a breakdown, and as the dominoes fall, two fresh faces appear in Genoa City whose presence may either mend or shatter what's left of the Newman Empire. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Part 1. The Crash, Sharon's Panic, and Nick's Flight to LA. The wheels of fate turn violently for the Newman family as Noah Newman is involved in a frightening car crash in Los Angeles. The severity of his injuries is still unclear, but Sharon's reaction is instantaneous and hysterical. She believes history is repeating itself. She fears another Cassie tragedy, that sense of helplessness, of losing a child, bearing down on her once more. Nick Newman, miles away in Genoa City, is blindsided by the news. When Adam and Chelsea inform him of Kane's escalating threats and Kane's anger over a damaging hit piece, Nick's priorities shift immediately. The political wars, the legal maneuvering, all that will wait. His first impulse: get to Sharon and Noah in Los Angeles. Victor initially resists, chastising Nick. This isn't a good time to abandon business or family obligations. But his resolve crumbles in the face of a hysterical phone call from Sharon, pleading for him to get there. The weight of her fear changes everything. Victor orders a private jet and insists Nick fly out immediately. Meanwhile, Victoria, baffled and worried, is told by her parents about Kane's threats. She senses trouble but doesn't know the full picture, that Nick is already gearing up for departure, that Sharon is unraveling, that something far darker may have caused Noah's crash. Sharon sees this crash not as an accident, but as a targeted attack. Someone wanted to harm Noah and possibly her family. It doesn't settle in her bones, she reacts. She's convinced there's a hidden hand, a vendetta, and that time is running out. Part 2. Claire in LA, Kyle's obsession, and Victoria's quandary. While the Newman family scrambles across the country, Claire Grace Newman is already in Los Angeles, distancing herself from Genoa City's drama. She's exploring a new phase of life with a more edgy, rock star aesthetic, smoky eye, bold energy, trying to live free from the pressures back home. But her safe space is fragile. Kyle Abbott, unable to accept Claire's drift, becomes obsessed with tracking her down. He desperately wants to win her back, and he implores Victoria to give up the location of Claire's LA hideout. That Victoria refuses to cooperate further hardens Kyle's resolve and shows how divided loyalties are pulling the Newman-Abbott axis apart. In Genoa City, Chelsea warns Victoria about Holden Novak, who's working for Kane. Her caution is layered, hinting at betrayal, con artistry, and hidden agendas. But Kyle overhears enough that he starts suspecting Holden is more than just a loyalist to Kane. He might be dangerous, even duplicitous. Victoria finds herself torn, her empathy for Claire's struggle, her fear of dangerous forces in LA, and her distrust of Kyle's desperation. She leans in some direction, but her choices carry consequences. Part 3. The AI, Phyllis's temptation, and Kane's struggles. Back in Genoa City, Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers are at a pivotal moment. Kane proposes a radical pivot: use his powerful AI technology for good, to rehabilitate public image, to help rather than harm. Phyllis, however, objects. She sees vengeance as the only satisfying path. She wants to weaponize the AI against their enemies. Phyllis flirts with the idea of seduction, of pulling Kane deeper into her orbit. Their tension escalates. When she nearly kisses him, Kane recoils. The possibility of a romantic entanglement or dangerous alliance looms. Kane, shaken, calls Lily Winters, but only gets voicemail, leaving him vulnerable, lonely, and second-guessing every alliance he has. Part 4. Nikki's moves, Tessa's surprise visit, and Detective Burrow's entry. Nikki Newman refuses to stay on the sidelines. She senses a dangerous game around the AI, around Kane's shifting loyalties, and around Victor's moves. Nikki may confront Kane directly, seeking to wrest control back or at least interfere before something catastrophic happens. She's also wary that Jack might try to use the AI against Victor, and, in turn, Victor against Jack. The stakes are power, revenge, family, and Nikki doesn't want to lose her hold. In a surprise twist, Tessa Porter shows up unexpectedly in Boston, visiting Mariah Copeland, who is institutionalized for PTSD. Mariah is furious. She had told Tessa to stay away. Their reunion is tense, unsettled, and hints at unresolved pain. What will Tessa do now that she's back in Mariah's life when Mariah's already in turmoil? On another front, Detective Burrow arrives in Genoa City. He's mysterious, handsome, and his arrival is ominous. Sharon and Nick will inevitably cross paths with him as he investigates Noah's crash. He's introduced as a new character later this week, and his ties may reach deeper than anyone suspects. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Interestingly, the actor playing Detective Burrow, Matt Cohen, also comes with a soap legacy. He once dated Haley Aaron's character Kiki on General Hospital. Haley Aaron plays Claire, which means there's a connective tissue worth watching. Meanwhile, Roger Howarth is set to make his debut on Young and the Restless soon, adding another new dimension to cast dynamics. Part 5. Plot twists, alliances, and hidden agendas. As the 2 weeks play out, several undercurrents intensify. Nick and Sharon work to trace who might have orchestrated the crash. Evidence will point toward Noah's nightclub venture and likely adversaries with motive. Detective Burrow will play a key role in this investigation. Audra Charles in Los Angeles is haunted by her past, especially her ties to Tucker McCall and to Holden Novak. This may complicate Claire's safety, especially if old secrets resurface. Sienna Bacall, an old friend or ex of Holden, crosses paths with him in LA. Their history could unravel new alliances or threats. Sienna's attitude toward Audra is hostile, calling her Audrey in mockery. Jill Abbott, battling her health and the strain of her relationships, contemplates leaving Genoa City to seek treatment in London. Before she leaves, she might make a surprising alliance with Sally Spectra, possibly funding the Abbott-Com venture. Billy Abbott, reeling from Jill's instability, struggles to keep himself steady. Jack, ever the mediator, tries to pull Billy back from the brink. Chelsea, Adam, and Victor feel triumphant over their attacks on Kane's reputation, but they may push too far. If Kane turns to Phyllis, if he uses the AI against them, their confidence may be misplaced. In a dramatic reversal, Kyle's obsession leads him back to Genoa City alone. He may blame Audra for Claire's potential danger, and tensions between Kyle and Audra are on the brink. Part 6. Character arcs, fears, flaws, and betrayals. Sharon Newman. Already fragile from years of trauma, Sharon is pushed beyond her breaking point. Noah's crash triggers both maternal terror and acute paranoia. She sees conspiracies, dark motives, hands in shadows. She clings to the hope that Nick's arrival will steady her, but part of her wonders whether the danger is closer to home. Nick Newman. Nick is torn between protecting his family and navigating the explosive business arena of Genoa City. He steps in as protector, investigator, and mediator. Yet the guilt of being away, the fear of failing Sharon, and the burgeoning questions about the crash's origin weigh heavily. Victoria Newman. Straddling her family loyalties and her personal compass, Victoria must choose sides. She wants to help Claire, but also fears the consequences of giving away Claire's location. She's also vulnerable to Nate Hastings' emotional support, which may carry romantic undertones. Kyle Abbott. Desperate, impulsive, and erratic, Kyle's pursuit of Claire crosses lines. His determination to find her and win her back may drive him to reckless acts, even confrontations. He oscillates between vulnerability and threat. Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. Kane's idealism clashes with Phyllis's thrill for retribution. Their power struggle, their almost romantic tension, pits forgiveness against vengeance. Kane may be torn between using his AI for public good or succumbing to darker impulses. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Phyllis, ever seductive and manipulative, may coax Kane toward decisions he later regrets. Nikki Newman. Nikki emerges as a force to be reckoned with, refusing to let her children and legacies be puppets in larger schemes. Her involvement could shift the power balance. Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter. Mariah, fragile and vulnerable, may resent Tessa's reappearance, especially while institutionalized. Their reunion will reveal why Mariah shut her out and whether there is hope for reconciliation. Detective Burrow. New but potentially pivotal, Detective Burrow's alliances and connections are shadows waiting to be revealed. He's a wild card, and his romance or enmity may carry serious consequences. Part 7. The crescendo, key mid, and late-week moments. Midweek shockers. News breaks that Noah's crash wasn't an accident. Evidence suggests foul play. Sharon's terror escalates into rage and resolve. Cal secretly boards a flight to LA. Victoria confronts him. Don't go. He brushes her off, maybe in desperation or defiance. Holden and Sienna are seen together, rekindling a past and raising Claire's suspicions. Phyllis gets under Kane's skin, pushing him to deploy the AI against an enemy. She teases and taunts, dangling possibilities. Nikki confronts Kane or Victor, demanding that the AI not be misused. Late-week twists. Cal tracks Claire to her hideout. A confrontation looms in an LA bar. Detective Burrow interviews Nick and Sharon, revealing he's investigating whether Noah's nightclub project played a role in the crash. Audra's secrets surface: a memory, a photo, a name connecting to Hogden or confidence funds. She's cornered. In Genoa City, Jack and Billy broker a peace or truce, but the wound between them may be too deep. Jill announces her departure, surprising many, and bequeaths something to Sally or the Abbott business. As the episodes end, Kane moves the AI into a more ominous domain, potentially capable of revenge, exposure, or blackmail. Part 8. Speculation and thematic undercurrents. Who would target Noah and why? The crash isn't an accident. Motives abound. Is it retaliation against Nick, against Victor, or vengeance tied to the nightclub business? Could it be a hit ordered by one of Kane's enemies, or a secret rival in LA? The involvement of Detective Burrow suggests deeper threads. The AI as metaphor and weapon. Kane's AI is not just a plot device. It's symbolic. Power, hubris, the fine line between creation and destruction. Phyllis sees it as a deliverance. Kane sees redemption. Who wields the AI may determine whether the Newman legacy becomes a force for good or a vector of revenge. Redemption versus revenge. Many characters stand at crossroads. Kane, Nikki, Victor, Phyllis. Will they use strength for protection or for destruction? Sharon's panic echoes past trauma. Will she let grief dictate her choices or transform fear into strategy? The fragility of trust. Claire's distancing, Victoria's secret withholding, Kyle's obsession, relationships strain under pressure. The 2-week arc emphasizes how fragile alliances are, especially when secrets abound. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. New faces, new chaos. Detective Burrow, Sienna Bacall, and Roger Howarth's imminent entry promise that the next chapters won't be less tangled. Instead, new variables will shift power axes, test loyalties, and expose hidden histories. Part 9. Act-style scene summaries. Episode-by-episode highlights. Here's a breakdown of pivotal scenes you can expect across the 2 weeks. Episode October 13 to 14. Sharon collapses in anguish after hearing of Noah's crash. Nick is informed. Victor initially resists but relents when Sharon pleads. Victoria learns of Kane's threats. Chelsea warns about Holden. Kane pitches the AI for rehabilitation. Phyllis balks. Tessa arrives in Boston. Mariah is furious. Detective Burrow is introduced in Genoa City in connection with the crash. October 15th to 17th. Nick and Sharon meet Detective Burrow. They lay the groundwork for the investigation. Cal goes behind Victoria's back to find Claire. Phyllis flirts with Kane. He writhes under her influence. Audra is haunted by a past in LA that threatens Claire. Sienna and Holden reunite, raising Claire's alarm. October 18th to 20th. Evidence emerges that Noah's crash was deliberate. Cal tracks Claire to LA. Confrontation looms. Nikki confronts Kane or Victor over misuse of AI. Jill wrestles with her decision about leaving town. Billy struggles with her choice. Chelsea and Adam celebrate their bold gambits against Kane until consequences loom. October 21st to 24th. Burrow presents a shocking revelation tying the crash to someone close. Kyle and Claire have a heated confrontation in LA. Emotions, fear, longing collide. Phyllis tempts Kane into deploying the AI for vengeance. Audra is exposed, or nearly exposed, when a secret surfaces. Jill says farewell, or perhaps reconsiders. Sally receives an unexpected gift or mission. The arc ends on a cliffhanger. The AI is unleashed in a new capacity. Part 10. Emotional and dramatic threads to watch. Sharon's trauma, her reactions, whether impulsive or strategic, could define this storyline. Kyle's desperation, his pursuit could backfire for him, for Claire, and for those who care for them both. Kane and Phyllis. Will Kane hold the line, or will he succumb to darkness? Nikki's agency, her struggle to maintain moral and familial control, may yield dramatic confrontations. Mariah and Tessa, their fractured bond and emotional wounds, may reach a cathartic tipping point. Detective Burrow, his loyalties and agenda will be key. Will he be an ally or a threat? Epilogue for the end of week 2. As the dust settles on the second week, Genoa City and Los Angeles find themselves in uneasy balance. Noah's life is still in the balance. Sharon is fragile but galvanized. Nick is haunted by guilt and responsibility. Claire must choose whether to flee further or fight for her life and love. Kane and Phyllis's alliance hangs by threads of power, temptation, and trust. New arrivals, Detective Burrow, Sienna, Roger Howarth, shift trajectories. The AI, now awakened as both a weapon and a promise, looms as the next battleground. Sharon's panic was just the opening salvo. In October 13th to 24th, Young and the Restless will deliver heartbreak, betrayal, and the unsettling sense that nothing is safe, not family, not loyalty, not love. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.